Hi!
Hi!
Today we have another YouTube video about living in a different place, but this time it's Singapore. Here we have...
Hi, I'm Beth.
Beth is a super famous singer and bass player here in Singapore. Yes. She just landed on
The
Spotify.
The viral chart. Yeah. I am a singer, songwriter, producer. I'm studying contemporary writing and production, same as you, at Berklee.
You can check her song on Spotify. I'll put the link below. I love saying it. Yeah, below.
So I go by Beth for all my music.
Okay, so that's how you can find her on Spotify, and the song is here, and listen to it because it's amazing. We're gonna learn some stuff about living in Singapore. So I prepared questions, which I have them right here, and let's get to it. How does it feel to live in a country that is also a city, a state, everything all together at one?
I don't know if you can imagine it, but Singapore is very resourceful because we are a tiny island nation. You can drive from one end of Singapore to the other lengthwise in about an hour and a half. My concept of space is very distorted because you can probably just walk somewhere.
Such a convenient country to live in. What about cars? Do people drive cars? Is it common? Commuting is very popular, so...
Yeah, exactly. So the government tries to de-incentivize people from buying cars by one, making the cars expensive, two, you have to buy what we call a certificate of entitlement. You bid for it actually.
Okay.
And the price of this certificate is determined by the number of people who bid for it within a certain period. Anywhere from like a few thousand to like 10,000.
Oh my god.
And that's just so you can legally own a car. Yeah.
What would be the average price of like Toyota or something?
I think average like decent model Toyota would be 100,000 Singapore dollars. That's about 75,000 US.
What is the language of communication?
So we have 4 official languages: English, Malay, Mandarin, Tamil. Everyone in Singapore speaks English is the short answer to your question. Because we are made up of 4 major racial groups, which would be Chinese people, that's the biggest majority, followed by Malay people, followed by Indian people, particularly from the south, that's why they speak Tamil instead of Hindi. And we have Eurasians. Each one of these racial groups had their own mother tongue, their own language. The Singapore government made English the official working language and language of instruction in schools and stuff like that.
We didn't say something super important, but Singapore is quite young. How old is Singapore?
Singapore is just over like 50 years old. I think we're only like 52 or 53. I should know this.
You can literally feel the youth of the country. Every building is like, oh yeah, that's 5 years old. 5 years old. Wow, that's amazing. But since the land is not as big, how do you expand, or like how do you grow?
Near where I live, like on the southeast coast of Singapore, there's like a big strip of land there that is actually reclaimed land. We expanded our natural borders outward into the sea. We basically dump sand and like land and soil there to create land,
more land
out of that coastal area. We also just tend to build upwards as well. Tall buildings.
I assume that you don't have farm places to grow food and stuff. That means you import most of the product?
We mostly import pretty much everything. We do like have a few farms. You can say they're more like specialty farms. One fish farm, like pet fish, and like we have like one goat farm where you can like get goat's milk. And
what is the most common question people ask you when you say you're from Singapore?
I think, oh, where is that? And what do you speak?
What was the worst question you've ever heard about Singapore?
So I had this person who once asked me about toilets in Singapore. She started off the question as, so in the rural parts of Singapore, and then I just started laughing because we are a city. She noticed me laughing, and then she was like, okay, in the rural or not rural parts of Singapore, do you have toilets? Just immediately I said, I have 2 toilets in my house, in my apartment. And then she was like, yeah, see, that's what I thought. Because like her ex-boyfriend told her, oh, that must be so hard for her adjusting to life in the US because, you know, in like these Asian countries, they don't even use toilets. They just go to a hole in the ground. I mean, like Singapore started the World Toilet Association, by the way.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is Singaporean culture?
I think that's something that Singaporeans still struggle with. Our Singaporean culture just, you know, like Chinese culture plus Malay culture plus Indian culture plus Eurasian culture, and that's it? Or have we really managed to form our own identity? I think we're still trying to make sense of that. I mean, I think in Singapore we do have culture. It's just, you know, kind of like what version of it you want to subscribe to.
When you refer to Singapore,
Yes.
do you say country or city? Or how do you refer to Singapore?
Normally I just refer to it as a country. I've never lived somewhere where there was more than one city.
Last question. If you had to describe Singapore in 3 words, what would it be?
Okay, I would say comfortable, efficient, diverse.
I would add clean. Because Singapore is so clean. Can you chew gum in Singapore?
I should come in Singapore.
A fun fact about Singapore is that you cannot buy gum in the store.
I think people would like stick it in like the train doors and stuff like that, and then it would cause jams. So the government was like, you know, if someone is gonna make things bad for people with this one thing, then no one can have it. That's pretty much how it's been.
If you have more questions about Singapore,
Yeah.
make sure to ask them
Yeah.
to Beth. She can just answer them in the comment. Thank you, Beth, for being
Thank you.
in. See you in the next video. Bye.